ever tried screaming, "Yay!" really loud without worrying about anyone hearing you? No? What if I tell you that if you scream "Yay!" in space, no one would hear you? But why is that though? Does sound travel in space? Explosions, dogs barking, people talking, the water flowing, and even the trees swaying produce a sound. Anything that you hear is sound. So, do you think we can hear such sounds in space? To answer this question, no, we cannot hear anything in space because sound does not travel in space. Even if a spacecraft exploded near you in space, you still wouldn't be able to hear anything. It is because space is vacuum, meaning there is no air in space and sound is nothing but air vibrating. For instance, when we speak, the vibration of our vocal cords compresses the air around them, meaning these vibrations move the surrounding air. Similarly, our vocal cords move back and forth, creating a wave-like pattern known as sound waves. These sound waves then travel through air and reach the ears of the listener, where the brain interprets them as sound. Now, sound does not only travel through air, it can also travel through water and solid objects. There always has to be something for sound to compress. Basically, there needs to be a medium for these vibrations to move. A medium can be water, air, gas, and solid objects. All these mediums have particles, right? Everything around us is made of particles, including us. These particles are what helps sound travel. As long as there are particles, there would always be sound. Now, if there is no medium in space, meaning if there is no air or no molecules in space, then how will these vibrations occur? Therefore, sound does not travel in space because there is no medium for the sound to travel. That is why astronauts can only hear each other when they are in a spacecraft, because the spacecraft contains air to help them breathe. But remember, they cannot hear anything outside the spacecraft unless there are microphones fitted in astronaut suits, which helps them communicate with each other when they're outside their spacecraft. Just like how we use our phones to communicate with someone who lives far away, astronauts communicate with microphones fitted in their suits. If these suits didn't have any communication devices attached, then astronauts would really struggle to hear each other even if they were 1 inch apart or even if they yelled at each other. One more interesting fact. Planets and galaxies have their own sounds since they are also made of gases. However, we cannot hear them because there is no air in space, meaning there is no air for the sound waves to travel through from these planets to us. Hence, we cannot hear them. But thanks to the advancement of technology, we can hear fascinating sounds of some planets and galaxies through a process called data sonification. It's when the data from telescopes are converted into sounds. For example, let's look at this image of a galaxy. Now, this image is converted into sound. you notice that some bright stars have a higher pitch than the stars that are not so bright? This helps scientists understand the presence of bright stars in a galaxy. How amazing is that? So, now you know that sound cannot travel in space, but the data from telescopes can definitely help us listen to the universe.